Hello, Steve Arts 89. Well, it's that time of year. It's Halloween. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what to do for this year because once upon a time I would just do my annual Halloween marathon. I'd start usually after midnight on the 30th, technically the 31st, and I'd watch the first few Halloween films. It'd just be a matter of do I watch them all the way through, like 1, 2, and 3, maybe on the first night, then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 the next night on the actual Halloween night, or would I go do sort of like the two sort of because there's the Jamie Lee Curtis films and then there's the other films, and you can sort of do Halloween 1 to H2O Resurrection as one marathon, and then you can do 4, 5, 6 as another marathon. So sometimes I do them like that. But then we have the new Jamie Lee Curtis trilogy, and I got all excited one year and I did that first because you do the first film, then you do the 2018 sequel, and then the other two films. But that was before we saw the third film, and the third film is just woeful, and doesn't even fit into the chronology. It's like you could almost just not watch it, but then the second film is totally open-ended, so that doesn't work. So you kind of have to watch the third film. So I'm trying to work out what to do this year. I don't really want to watch the original Halloween first, but it really pays to watch the first Halloween and then watch the 2018 trilogy. So I really don't know what to do this year. But not trick-or-treating, not going out buying candy or anything, not walking around the neighbourhood listening to, Halloween music, John Carpenter's soundtrack and stuff like that. Yeah, so I really don't know, because the third film, I didn't watch it in the cinema because of you-know-what, and I got it on Blu-ray and DVD for the first time last year and watched it on Halloween night for the first time, and then did a review because it was just shockingly disconjointed from the rest of the series and not the sort of third part of the trilogy that everyone was expecting, and not a real Halloween film, and not even a good and or logical horror film. So I don't really even want to watch it, but you kind of need to. I mean, it kind of works as its own little horror film, but when you try and make it a Halloween film, with the way Michael Myers is treated and acts in the film, but then you sort of consider how much of that is really Michael Myers and how much of that is like the imaginary Michael Myers that's sort of living in the head of the killer in that film, and I've even forgotten his name. Because I'm thinking some of those scenes people are criticising and are ridiculous, I'm thinking they must have been happening in his head. They couldn't have actually been real interactions with the actual Michael Myers. So it's the only way it makes sense. But I haven't really had the time because I only watched Halloween on Halloween. I only had last year to deal with it. I haven't really watched any interviews and all the special features or stuff like that, really. I don't really recall anyone explaining. And I'm not sure if the director, Mr. Green, or is it Gordon Green? Is it Gordon Green or someone Gordon Green? I've forgotten his name. I never really heard an explanation from him as to how those films make sense and how the Michael Myers in that makes sense, or why he took such a... I mean, they set up all the events to be in one night, and for it to be this big epic ending to the the new Jamie Lee Curtis, or the original Jamie Lee Curtis, depending on how you look at it, saga. And then they just skipped 5 years or something, and then have this totally unrelated Halloween story that she just sort of gets brought into, and she does sort of get to end Michael Myers and sort of finish everything for herself, but it's just a mess. And I don't quite know how to make sense of it. I only watched it once last year, so this will be my second time watching it and trying to work it out. So so that's my Halloween, trying to work out the third film and how to celebrate the ones, because I do like the first Jamie Lee Curtis sequel in 2018. I mean, they promoted it really well as a one-off, response, a woman basically dealing with her trauma. They did a real good job of that, but then they didn't really deliver that because they had an open ending and they had a sequel where she was just injured. So they repeated the same mistakes of the second film from the original trilogy, and then they had this weird, disconjointed, separate ending, and I can't make sense of it. I'm trying to make sense of it and I just can't. So I don't know. I think I just need to focus on the original films, but you just can't ignore Jamie Lee Curtis's performance, and I actually liked Kills. It's just it works as a middle part of a trilogy, but on its own without the proper ending, it's just I can't. So I think ultimately I'm gonna have to focus on the original films each year, but I guess I watched the other ones as well. But I don't want to end off on the worst film. I don't want that to be the last film I watch for the whole weekend. So maybe I watch those ones first and then do the original trilogy and end off with Resurrection, which is not the best film either. It's a mess. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Any suggestions on how to manage these film series? Because I just don't know how to manage them this year. But yeah, maybe I feel differently after I see the last film again. I don't know. But I'm going to go. Bye. Happy Halloween.